Okay, it's the next day. Andrew's gone, thank God. Trailer's still here, I gotta take that back tomorrow. Door's back on, which is good. That's the most annoying part. Hot damn, we got a pacemaker. Oh my God, this machine is so sweet. So it's sitting right on the supports that we put in the basement, so should have no issue. The Milwaukee supports are going right down the middle. I would have liked to sit the headstock on those, but there's just no way to get it in here. That purple workbench is part of the wall, and I don't want to mess with it. Damn, that's a beautiful machine. So I just did some cleaning on it. You can probably tell it's a lot cleaner than it was. I just degreased kind of this area. I think I'm gonna repaint it. I hate to say it, because I hate painting machines, but I'm gonna repaint it. Let's get some guesses for what color I'm gonna paint it in the comments, because it'll be funny. I think there's only one guess that anyone's gonna make, and they might be surprised. So what I just did now is, you can probably see everything's purple or black or whatever, blue. I put some rust converter on it. I still gotta do it down there. It just makes it a little bit nicer. Stops that rust from spreading more. It won't in here because it's nice in here, but they lost their AC for a couple months or a couple weeks last year, so they started having stuff rust. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo. So this is a 14 by 54. So it's 14 catalog, 14-inch swing, but I'm pretty sure it goes actually a lot more than that. I want to say it's 18 or 18 and a half over the V. Either way, it's plenty enough to do a horn mandrel. My Cincinnati, which I'm going to be selling if anyone wants to buy it, can be very cheap because it's a worn out machine. It still has life in it for what we need to do on it, but I just don't have room for it in here. I'm getting that clousing for $50 from Andrew, so that's going to kind of take the place of the medium-sized stuff. Yeah, it's 18 inches over the V. Oh, that's awesome. Let me see what it is over the carriage. Well, no, it's probably, it'll swing 16 inside the, a little more actually. Wow, it'll swing like 17 inches. Pretty sweet. And then over the guard here, swings about 11 over there, which is really good. That's gonna make life really easy. Came with a 3-jaw, and I got that tool post, which I don't really want. I have a 4-way over here. So we're gonna put this 4-way post on there. I got a ball bearing Jacobs chuck and a cheapo life center. Got the steady, which is super sweet for making horn mandrels or whatever, long tuba mandrels. The best part of the whole thing is this tailstock. This thing is massive, and it has, it's so f***ing heavy, you have a crank to move it. Andrew and I were talking, we were just Googling a little bit about this thing before I got it. It's like such a cool machine. I think this came from Chicago. I actually have a bunch of machines that were sold by that dealer back in the day. It's kind of cool. For this era of machine, you would not expect the ways to be this, but these are bolt-on tool steel hard ways. So you can actually see that little countersink there, all the way down, there's countersinks, and you can see the seam where the ways bolt on. So that means at one point these things are replaceable. So I think the outside one is what the carriage rides on, you can see that. The tailstock ways I don't think are replaceable. What I'm saying with the bolt-on ways is I think I'd have to do a bit of disassembly on the machine, because this lathe is in really good shape. The gears on the inside are all beautiful. The ways here have a tiny little bit of dish, not like the Cincinnati at all. They got a lot of years left in it. But if I really wanted to, I could flip the ways so that the tailstock, because this side has never had a carriage run on it ever up until here. And these here aren't worn like at all. So it would get me into the ballpark of having a really, really accurate machine up there. Not that I need it, but I'm not gonna do it anytime soon, but once this gets worn pretty bad in like 30 years, sure, I'll flip them. That's a pretty cool feature on a machine of this era. I don't know the date on this machine. I'll have to look it up on Vintage Machinery or something, but I wanna say late 50s, early 60s? I don't know, I could be wrong. I wanna say the 60s they switched the castings. This is a 50s machine, I think. In that era machine, you don't see a lot of hard ways. You see just cast iron. Obviously, on the machines that were meant to do hard work, they were thinking about it, so it's pretty cool. The end goal with this thing, maybe we'll see how I feel about it, is to put a tracer attachment on it so I can make bell mandrels way easier. I also know some people who have like thousands of tracings for bells already, so that would make that a lot easier. So we'll see if that ever happens. At least for now, the way I make bell mandrels is actually really efficient. Cutting the steps, and then I actually got a ball cutter kind of deal from Lost Creek that I'm gonna set up to help me cut in those steps a little more accurately. I think I will definitely be repainting this machine. Just looking at how nice the spots look that are clean. This paint's kind of shitty, oil-based, kind of crappy paint. And I got the gantry parked around it because we're gonna be using the gantry. The tailstock needs some work. It wasn't sat down right or something on the base, so there's like a gap. It just needs to be taken off, cleaned, and put back together, I think. The gantry's gonna be a lifesaver when I go to do that. But yeah, got Morse taper 4 in there in the tailstock. Steady made this decision to buy this really easy because there's been a lot of things that I've gotten away with not having a steady for, but it would really help. Anyone want to buy scrap? You can fill up your car for $20. I don't really care. I think it looks great in here. Andrew was saying that it's in the perfect spot to look from outside. You just walk in. Oh yeah, there's my pacemaker. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. My lathe is cooler than yours. Okay, bye. Some people might be like, oh my God, it's gonna rust so bad with all that water. Yeah, I'm gonna wipe it off, dummies. Obviously this machine's set up to run coolant, but I don't know like why you would. This kind of machine just seems a little bit pointless. I don't know where this machine came from. I could ask. I think it came out of some guy's house. So Matt doesn't really know if it was in any big shop or anything. Definitely an industrial machine, that's for sure. At some point came out of a hydraulic shop or something. That's enough spraying. Yeah, all this is just coming right off. Definitely house paint or something. Even the cheapest metal enamel doesn't come off that easy with industrial purple diluted. It's actually kind of amazing how easy this paint's coming off. Makes me want to go get some stripper and do it proper. I don't mind having a bare machine for a little bit as I'm cleaning it up. I'm not ready to do a full tear down. I don't think it needs it really. I'm gonna take out the gibs, take a look at them. Everything feels pretty solid. All the levers work nice, which is a pretty good sign. So I'm just gonna kind of get it looking nice, get all the rust and gross off of it, you know, see what paint comes off, see if it's worth getting all the paint off, go from there. The floor here is still not done, so I'm okay with getting all over the floor here. And then I'm gonna redo the floors one more time with all the machines in place, because a lot of machines are going on the spots I couldn't do last time, which is nice. Okay, so yeah, I got a little carried away. Yeah, it looks worse than it is. I mean, it's worse than it looks, but the paint was peeling off super easy, so I got some paint stripper. The aerosol cans, I thought it would be easier. It worked good. I got most of it. It's nice and craggy, ready to be scraped. You can see that. Oh, but you can see how clean I got all the rust off the cross slide here, off the levers, a little bit in there still, but that's painted, so that'll come off with the paint. These are embossed, so I don't have to worry about paint stripper getting on there. It really doesn't actually look like it's affecting it. So you can see we got some filler, some primer, or some other paint, I don't know. Depends on how they painted this when they put the teal on. So when I'm gonna redo the color, I'm gonna do these in black or whatever, make them pop a little bit, maybe white, depending on what color I pick. Do that, and then down here, the base, where it says the American Tool Works Co. Cincinnati, Ohio. I got all the webbing and all that. Gonna need another pass. I haven't done under here yet, but no big deal. I haven't done the bases yet, but those should be pretty simple. I need to get some cardboard before I do them, I think. It's coming off really easy. I'm not too worried. And then the back, I haven't done yet because I can't get to it. This is gonna come out a little bit from the wall so that the gantry actually sits centered in it. Only needs about a foot or so. And that way I can get the starter back on the back because I forgot about that. Got the chuck off. Spindle looks okay, good enough. The tailstock, I think we talked about, it's all fucked, but I can fix it, so I'm not that worried. Won't really take that long either. So it's just gonna be scraping for a couple days here. I'm in no hurry to finish this project, so I'm just gonna kind of do this as I have time. End of the day, kind of when I don't want to do other work anymore, I'm just gonna come over here and tinker on it. Get it, I want to get this in really nice shape, so I don't want to rush it. I don't even have power to power it right now, so no big deal. It gets bigger the longer I look at it. Like oh my God, I love this thing. It's gonna look so good, freshly painted. Get all the grease off of it. I got a lot of it off already. It wasn't really greasy, it was just rusty. Whoever had this before definitely took care of it. Only reason it got rusty is because I think air conditioning at Lost Creek went out or something. You know, look at those V-belts, are newer. Everything in here looks pretty clean. I don't really have to do much in here. Gears all look good. Where Andrew took the cap off with Jason and looked at it. I got a picture of those, they look pretty good. Nothing broken, nothing messed up. And the something kind of cool about the ways is they're hard, which is really odd for the machine of this era. And you can actually unbolt the diamond for the cross slide and flip it, which it hasn't been flipped yet. So once I'm complaining about this thing not being accurate anymore, because it has a little bit of wear but not enough to care, I'll flip the ways. That'll be fun 20 years from now. It's cleaning up really nice. It has the threading stop, so this is so that when you are doing single point threading, you can set this stop, so then this will come back to a hard stop, and then you just feed in with the cross slide. That's typically how a lot of people thread, but this is a hard stop, which is really handy. I got the top side off. Some junk in here. I'm gonna get some brake clean to shoot in there. Have John bring me some. I'm gonna get this stuff all cleaned up. I'm happy I took this off because it was super corroded under there. So I'll get this all cleaned up and all that. Like I said, I'm not gonna rush on this. Well, I have work to put on it, but I don't have, I have my other lathe. We're gonna take our time and make this thing really nice. And then we're gonna get YouTube famous from having a pacemaker. It's the only reason I bought it. Bye.